Warning. The following video contains spoilers for the inner workings and behind-the-scenes processes of the Project 863 series. If you do not wish to be spoiled on future or past videos, nor have the spell of the series broken, you have been warned. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Behind 863 podcast. Today, I'm joined by Samantha and Bailey.
I feel like we're interviewing Bailey anytime Woods isn't here.
I know. It's always
it's just like, hey, Bailey, how's it going?
It's like we're grilling you like a morning show.
Yeah. You're our guest on our radio morning show.
Yeah. You have to talk big, smile big. You have to get TV. Is that what that looks like?
You have to get TV.
Get TV.
Oh, you mean like get TV?
Yeah, they kind of like always have these big smiles. Always. Oh, they're always super fake. Instead of us, where we're just like, it's been day 7,000.
Let's talk about death.
A stalker's been stalking us. I just want to sleep at night.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that was fine. I already ran out of steam to like continue the bit. And so I was like,
take it away, Tan.
I appreciate it. Well, today we have a lot of things to talk about. The main thing we're going to get to later, by later, I mean in a few minutes.
Yeah, later. Yeah.
I say we were going to talk for 4 hours.
We honestly probably could. I feel like sometimes time flies when we're doing this. And it's like, wow, it's all
last week's
over.
podcast. I was like, wait, it's over.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We didn't get to finish.
And that'll probably be this week's podcast too, because we have Dope Up directly after. So it'll probably be slightly shorter. But either way, what I want to talk about first is updates. What updates do we have for the channel going on right now? From the last week, I know one that we can talk about is we're shooting this week, which is nice.
We are.
That was a
Yay.
fast-changing
Well,
pace.
maybe.
Yeah, well,
hopefully.
Matt's sick, so
Another update.
Another update.
Maybe we won't.
I mean, he thinks it's just like one of those like one day cold things. So we might not film tomorrow. We might film Friday. I don't know. Playing it by ear. I feel like a lot of this week has been some playing it by ear, some unexpected things. Nothing huge, but yeah, hopefully we're going to be filming this week, which is really exciting because as you guys know, we've been taking like a little production break for like 3 weeks or so.
Has it been 3 weeks already?
It was either 2 or 3 weeks.
2. I think this is 2.
Okay. Oh, weird.
Wait, no.
Last week we didn't
3.
shoot, and the week before we shot.
Did we shoot? Or was that one video that we didn't
The
release?
video we canceled.
Wow, it feels like it's been 4 months for me.
That's crazy. I was going to say, like, for me, it's starting to feel like the 3-month production break that we took. Like, I'm starting to get back in the groove of, like, just not shooting for a long time.
That's because, because we had that shoot, and then the week before, we had the week off, maybe. Is that what it was?
Oh, yeah. That's what it was. It was, we had our production break, and then we came back. And we didn't end up uploading that video, and we also only shot one that day.
We didn't shoot
the
the
weird
next
shoot
week,
day,
and then
we didn't shoot the next week, and then maybe we're here. Who knows? Time's a construct.
I think it's been because
it's been
the
2
first
weeks.
week that we decided that we weren't uploading is when we decided we were going to do a recap. But so that's the week that we started the recap, right?
Yeah.
My nails are so grown out. I saw you look at them. I was like, don't look at them. Tim.
No, I wasn't. I mean, mine are also grown out.
Bad.
So
yours look natural though. But anyway, it's like, I lost my train of thought.
I could also just look at our production calendar, but that's too
It just
easy.
feels like it's
That'd be
been
too
so
try
long.
hard.
And like,
Yeah.
I forget what it's like to shoot.
Yeah, I am so glad I remembered to charge batteries today because if we filmed tomorrow, like they would have all been dead. I was like, oh yeah, that's what I have to do. I'm trying to think of like any updates. Still doing the season recap.
I have an update regarding Sam. Sam's going to be shooting. She's going to be the one filming tomorrow. If we do shoot.
I'm going to be filming tomorrow. We are, looking for camera ops. We might do something. And this is just me talking out of my butt right now, so don't take my word for it. But Bailey and I were kind of toying with the idea of kind of doing an A/B schedule with camera ops because something that we're discovering with a lot of freelancer camera ops is they, pick up jobs as they go and like at a moment's notice can book some other job that they, can't turn down because it's like some. Like if it's like a Marvel movie or something, we're not going to be like, stay with us, please, for this 1 week for the day.
And we really,
Yeah, because we don't have a typical like production day. Like a camera op is typically expecting at least from my knowledge, like a 12-hour day. And, we film for like 4, maybe 8 hours sometimes. So we're learning we need to be a little bit like competitive with trying to hire some freelance camera ops, but are also toying with the idea of like, well, if we hire a couple, we can like always have a backup and like switch off weeks and stuff.
What happened with, was it Noah?
Yeah. So it didn't work out.
Didn't work.
Yeah,
Monster Show. Did not work out.
Yeah, really simply, it didn't work out. And he did a lovely job, but it was one of those things where he is also a great example of a freelance camera op who was, getting other jobs that,
And expecting to work like a long day too.
Exactly.
We had to do it for like
Yeah.
a couple hours.
He was basically just getting other, jobs that paid him more for longer work. And so it was like, he can't really, we can't ask him to turn those down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because also it's like not only it's multiple days of work because it's like typically, especially because we shoot on Thursdays, like shoots that start on Thursdays are like weekend shoots normally. So it'd be like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it's like we can't ask him to turn down a full 4 days
4-day
of work for
yeah.
like 4 hours for us.
That's true.
So,
And also the shooting is just different. That's what I'm curious. Oh, I just dropped my phone.
oh, that was really loud.
Don't ask what I put in it.
It was your phone.
Rocks in your phone.
You think this- oh, sorry. This is not. Anyway.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry. I
literally-
didn't get the joke.
It was the worst joke ever. So yeah, you can. That's fine. It was a bad joke. I'm a little tired.
No,
It was my phone, everybody.
No,
Either
but
way,
then you made a joke about putting stuff in. You said, "Don't ask me what I put in it."
yeah, almost like it was
No,
a bad
explain,
joke.
explain your joke.
It was just a knee-jerk response that sounded like it should work,
Yeah. I've been there.
and
I've
it
been
felt
there.
like it should have worked.
It's okay. I'm
And
sorry.
Bailey
to point
laughed,
it
so
out.
she was either saying, "Hey, pity laugh," or it did
no,
work
I
somehow.
went along with it. I said you put rocks in your phone.
See?
Yeah.
Well, I'm
So
I'm
it's
sorry.
your fault.
No, I get it. Okay.
No, what I was
Continue.
saying is I'm excited to see like different camera ops jump into the position as well, because it's I don't even want to say, like, obviously YouTube filming is much easier, but I think camera ops are trained to be like much more smooth when they're filming and much more like they're professionals, and so
Definitely.
like YouTube is not that like at all. And
I
so
think Noah was definitely used to like the professional side.
yeah, you're trying to go
for
slow, you're trying to like, whereas like what we want is like jerk.
Quick punches
Yeah,
and
quick
just follow it. Like
And even though it's a little bit jarring, like that's what the feel is, that's what you're going for, creates the pace. Like, I mean, the reason Quinn is so good at it when we've used Quinn is because like he knows YouTube, films YouTube, like
He's a vlogger
edits
boy.
YouTube.
Yeah,
He does
vlogger
all
boy.
the process of it. And the people that have done it for like a while. Like I started filming like when I first got here. I think it was like my second week, like 5 years ago. Was when that was the first YouTube skill I learned how to do. And they're just like,
Really?
yeah, just act like you're watching a YouTube video. And that's like the way that you kind of like learn. It's like, oh, like this is Sam like learned a long time ago. Like it's just one of those things. Yeah, you learned like at least a couple years ago. At this point, I mean, you guys have been doing this for a long time.
yeah. From now, I thought you meant like from when I like started as camera op for Matthias vlogs. I was like, nah, he kind of just trained me for a week and
Well,
said
yeah.
go.
Oh,
But-
really? I didn't know
but
he trained
that-
you.
No,
But
I don't-
but he was training in the YouTube style.
exactly.
Of doing it, right?
Yeah.
So it was very easy to pick up on, and I've also watched a lot of YouTube videos. So I
Yeah.
was like, no, I get what you're going for.
Yeah,
And we're
yeah.
not trained in anything else either.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trained. I have no clue how to use camera like Matt obviously does because he went to film school, and I think you did film school as well, right?
I did.
So you probably have
Jumped
more
out.
of that. I have none of that experience.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We have no like prior
have to
knowledge of
take
how
any-
things should be filmed, so there's no information to like put in the back of our
Mm-hmm.
brain. Whereas with someone who was like more traditionally trained, might be like, this isn't how you do it, but like we're asking like, yeah, I know, but like this is how we do it.
And there's like some traditional techniques, I think, you know, even then I like the rule of 180 and stuff that like I
Yeah.
know not to break, but like that's not because I have traditional experience, just because someone who does said like, hey, this is the stuff that's useful for what we're doing. Keep that, but don't worry about the rest. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm curious to see is like maybe we'll get someone in here that's like super good professionally, but also like hyper creative to like have their own twist on it, you know?
Yeah, well, that's the interesting thing about it too, is that I feel like, you know, holding a camera, you wouldn't think that there's that much creativity involved in it. Like, because it's just like, especially with what we do, it's just kind of like, but at the same time, there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. And my only fear with having a bunch of people that were like switching in and out is I wonder how obvious it's going to be that it's different people holding
Sure.
the camera. Also, I think it's kind of interesting because, you know, obviously the audience latches on to people here. Like they've really latched on to Quinn as like the voice of subject 4. And
Yeah.
so I wonder like what that's going to be like for them if we have different people having the holding the camera every week. Cause like there's no one really to like ground yourself to. But
My hope would be that and like not that it was like a problem that people like grasped onto Quinn or anything.
Yeah.
My hope would be that you know, the camera is more of like a just like metaphorical subject for that.
Rather
There's
than a
not
person.
necessarily like a like character attachment to whoever is
Right.
now behind the camera. Obviously, a lot of our audience had previously known and loved Quinn and like they've seen him in so many other videos, so like that made sense to me. But I also saw like what you're talking about like people were very much like, it's like Queen is subject for with us, and so which is a cool perspective and like metaphor. But my hope, especially as we bring in like new people, would be that like the camera's just kind of the camera.
Totally.
You know,
Well, I think
if that makes sense.
also like part of the reason maybe why people were latching onto Quinn as subject for is because of the episode where you guys get locked in the vault, or whatever you want to call it, because Quinn took the antidote.
Yeah.
So like that was a very much character thing,
Yeah.
and like that very much
Involved and everything.
exactly, and like also very much like personified the
camera.
camera. yeah.
That is true. Like I feel like we've toyed the line so much with like how involved like does the camera person get, because we are obviously very much, I mean, in our like guerrilla style, documentary style, like filming, like we're very much aware of the camera. So it would be weird if we like never addressed.
I think we could
You
just
know,
call the camera Quinn.
Quinn.
Yeah,
It's just Quinn
always
going
Quinn.
forward.
Well, yeah, everyone
Yeah.
who's there is like, your character is Quinn behind the
I mean,
camera.
'cause
That's kind of funny.
That's true. Well, because no one also like you never see Quinn really.
Yeah.
so-
No one knows.
No one
like
would
that's
know.
that's the first thing I think of is people. I think people are tending to like. People tend to empathize with other people getting credit. Like they want other people to get credit.
They're always
Totally.
like, oh my gosh, this person deserves so much more
Yeah.
credit.
Even though they
Like,
have
and I'm like,
Yes.
Even
Or it's
though they
like, you
have no
forgot
clue.
this
They have no
person,
clue
yeah.
who's doing what. You know, there's like, oh, this person hasn't gotten credit in a while, so I'm gonna give them credit. I'm like, oh, that's like, I guess,
That's
but it's
sweet,
like
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
also like a little over empathetic. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, like they're getting paid to do this. You know,
yeah,
Like,
Right.
I've seen people say that about me
Totally.
before. Like, no one gives Sam's enough credit, and I'm like, I'm fine.
I'm
like, I
fine.
think
I'm
feel
surviving off of this.
I
Yeah.
feel appreciated, but because I was called out about not getting enough credit, or like people
Everyone
don't
starts giving you
appreciate
credit.
Sam enough. No, it actually made me go, wait, people don't appreciate.
Yeah, you're like, wait a
I
minute.
was like, I
since
feel
when?
appreciated.
Yeah.
What are you talking
That's
about?
so funny.
I
I know
agree. I
exactly
don't
what
like
you
it was
it
mean.
when
like the
it's-
reverse.
I don't like it when it's cheap. I agree. Like I don't like it when it's like when it's not just like, hey, like I noticed them doing this specific thing and I know they did it. Like that's attentive, you know. But when it's just like, oh, like this person's in this role and wow, the show's good. Good job. It's like, all right, you just seem like you feel like I'm not getting enough care or something, and that it's your job. Like you're fulfilling that.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
I promise you, you're not. Like my self-esteem is not balanced in anyone else but myself. So
Yeah, totally. Also, I'd like to point out that here at the studio, we're very uplifting towards each other. So, like,
Yeah.
and we're not going to do that on camera, being like, "Wow, Tanner, you're doing a great
Killer
job."
job. Yeah.
like on
Like
camera.
Bailey, I'm so glad you're here, because I feel like I see a lot of that about Bailey, because and I think sometimes it's just or in the past when you were just in the videos like a little bit,
Oh, yeah.
people would be like Bailey deserves more
Like camera time.
more like respect, and we need to like appreciate her more. And it's like she just wasn't a part of the story
Totally.
yet, guys.
It's like
Yeah.
I promise you, everyone here is very supportive, and it's all like I think it's funny too because when someone shows up in the videos for like 1 second, the top comment will be like they need to be in the videos more. And it's like okay,
I
so
wonder why that is. Because I wonder.
know.
I don't. Because I'm sure it's probably not any of like Spellbound Plus members. I think I usually see it in just like general YouTube comments, like some like random stray comment
Yeah,
of someone
yeah.
like watching through. But I wonder if it's like because those comments tend to get upvoted. You know, it's
Yeah,
like it's like
maybe.
a positive thing. You know, it's like oh like hey, this person deserves more of this. You know, everyone's like yeah they do. You know?
Yeah,
But
right.
then
Yeah.
on Matt's, I love it because Matt always gives the counter side. He's like no one ever wants more like. Wants me to have more. They always want me to give more. He's like
That's so
which is true.
funny.
Like people, it didn't happen to me as much, but like Venmo, like Woods got Venmoed a ton of money, and now
Oh,
when people
yeah.
find Matt's Venmo, they request a ton of
so
money.
sad.
And
Poor
so it's like, so even though Matt's doing a ton of it, like a ton of the bulk of like the idea, the vision, like people are like, no, he doesn't. He gets enough credit. He
yeah,
gets enough.
totally.
Yeah.
Like, let's
You're
give it to
so
the
right.
people who don't. And they're like, and so I find it so fascinating, like the change of balance.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, it's like, just like, you know, watching the video is enough for me, you know? And,
Yeah.
and the main reason I bring it up is like the whole situation back to the cameraman is with, everyone for like I think maybe 3 months after CJ was no longer here kept trying to give CJ credit for what Sam was doing behind the camera.
Yeah.
And I found
think
that
we talked about this before.
We have. Sorry, I just want to bring it up to
no, you're
give
funny.
why we even got to this situation in the first place. Is like that's why I think it's just so funny. Is like from our end, like we see that stuff, but also it doesn't. We don't want to bring it up. Like it's, it's a weird
right.
moment. So that's why this is the perfect place to talk
Totally.
about it.
Yeah.
It's like this
Yeah.
is a weird thing that
You
happens
guys
in
know.
our world of like it's superficial compliments of like what I do and don't. I don't know. It's very assumptive.
Yeah.
Assumptive?
Yeah.
Assumptuous?
Assumptuous. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know if that's a word, but I totally agree with you. And I think it's also like, you know, it goes the same in the opposite direction too, of like, you know, when people leave and you like they're behind the scenes all the time, like never were in videos, just like we're purely like operational. And then people are like, I miss so and so for the next like 6 months. It's like you never saw so and so.
I think they miss who they were when so and so was there.
I guess so.
You know? Like,
Yeah, but that
I
is funny. Like, because I have seen that before with truly people who were like we said, like on camera, like one time, and that doesn't make them any less valuable
no,
as like
totally.
an employee and blah 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 blah. Correct,
Of course.
nice things to say.
Yeah, of course.
But it is just funny that like the audience's reaction sometimes is like, "What? You barely saw that person."
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
Yeah.
you never like really got the chance to know them. So it's just like,
And it's weird because I
interesting.
think I thought about that like from like both a work perspective and an audience perspective like a little bit ago is I wonder if it creates just like no matter what you do, like a person leaving, even if it's on their own accord, creates this idea of decay like in your head. Like this idea of like this thing is no longer as full because it has less.
100%.
And so I wonder if in someone's head they're like, I miss when it was more.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's just like
Yes.
naturally
Oh,
like
it is. Yeah, for
like
sure.
in your head to just like assume more equals better, you know?
I would say that that is the general audience perspective that we've seen throughout
And
the
we're
years
doing it on a grand
of
scale
High
naturally
Five.
compared.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, did we talk about Kevin leaving last week? I can't
I
think
think we
We
did.
I think we talked generally
about how it like affected production.
Oh,
and
yeah,
how,
okay.
how that.
Yeah. So just going off of that too, like I think a lot of people don't realize that a lot of people leave for their own reason, and it has
Yeah.
like nothing to do with the company
Anything
going down. It's just like they choose to go.
And Kevin one, like I see why people are like more. Kevin's been around for a long time. He's
Totally.
also the COO of the company,
Oh, yeah,
so
big-
everyone's like
yeah.
more like wow,
Everyone's like, what?
bigger feeling of decay. But I think it happens the exact same like when Mitch left. You know,
Yeah.
when Max Waxman was no longer here. When we like these cameramen who like people barely saw. Mitch was a bit more in the videos, but not even a lot. Chuck, like everyone's like, oh, I missed this. It's like they like barely showed up.
Yeah.
You know,
No, totally. I think that, like in the recap video too, a lot of people were commenting, "I miss Mitch," on like last week's
And
video.
I miss Mitch.
Yeah,
but-
and he was an absolutely lovely person. So when I make
But I
the
know
face
him.
of it's not because of it's anything against Mitch. It's just kind of like what?
I
a
think
strange
some
thought, yeah.
people, like especially with original people from High Five, like obviously I don't know who Mitch is, but like now I know that he was a cameraman. But I think that people who comment things like that, like I miss Mitch. I think it's like also showing that they have been a fan of High Five for a long time, like showing that they know who that is, because like I think I didn't know who he was, so like obviously it's like people who have been a fan for a long time, and I think it's kind of like to show that they resonate with like old High Five.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Interesting.
It might be that. It might be a little bit of like, like the vet status, but I think it's like a mix of that mixed with like possibly the nostalgia of like
Yes.
I miss. It's not just Mitch. Like maybe they do actually miss Mitch, and I don't want to like downplay it. Like that's okay. Like I miss him a lot too, so I kind of get it.
Someone in the
But
comments is like, I do miss Mitch.
You don't
actually,
understand. I
and
actually.
this is why.
I miss the way his hair smelled.
Yeah.
But I think it also, it's like just a nostalgia kick. I think people miss those times. I get that feeling a lot. And so like, I've been a fan of things, like I'm like, oh, like that show, like, sorry, I was getting a little off track. That show, like My Babysitter's a Vampire. Do you remember that was on Disney?
I do remember, but I never
such
watched
a
it.
weird niche Canadian show that I was like, oh, I loved watching for some reason. And I'm like, wow, I miss that. I miss those people. I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
even know these people. The show's on for like
miss
one season or something. Like,
Yeah.
but you just like have this
Funny.
idea of where you
Totally.
were then.
Exactly. I was gonna say it's like it's not so much those people specifically; it's reminding you of who you were.
How
at
it
that
made you
time.
feel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 Like what was happening in your life when you were watching those things? Because like for a lot of YouTubers that I watched when I was like growing up who don't make content anymore, I'm like, oh yeah, like I miss that, but I miss being a kid, I think is like really what it is. It's
And,
like-
and it's also like all of those points are really good, and I think also hit on people. I think in that era of High Five, where it was just like a lot of channels, a lot of people on camera, just like look at us all almost hanging out. People felt like we were there just like friends.
Totally.
And I think people just liked watching a big group of people do fun or funny things. And so like the fact that that has shifted, I feel like they're just like, oh, I just miss like that season of content.
yeah, makes
fair.
them like makes you feel included, like when you are seeing it from the camera's perspective and you're surrounded by all these like happy fun people.
Happy fun time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that. Also, I want to quickly touch on this, and then I want to go into the
Theories of it
theories.
all.
Yeah.
We have a TikTok. If you guys are into TikTok, and some of you guys don't know that Bailey has been making all the TikToks for. Thank you, Bailey.
Bailey
God,
deserves
yeah.
more appreciation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, Sam.
I actually, like you said, I was like, yeah, wait a second, wait. But I want to talk more about that possibly next week's podcast. But I just want to let you guys know that they are there. Bailey's making them. Go show them some
Yeah, a
love.
lot of people think that it's Matt. I actually saw, because I posted one today, like of Chanel and I, and someone commented and was like, so did you take Matt's phone for this? It's me. I mean, yeah, Matt, TikTok just isn't really something he's interested
Well, I
in.
think that's how you know you're on a younger platform, because that's how like even YouTube when it was super young, it's still young now too, but like that's something like there's like that gap of like I think they genuinely think that like, oh no, like that their TikTok only works on their phone.
Yeah.
Like, well, you can make you can log into TikTok on multiple phones and create
Yeah.
multiple different things.
And Bailey can also just make an account with Matthias in the username, and he
Totally,
has
yeah.
nothing to do with it.
It's
Yeah,
just
right.
socials, but like you know, it's
Yeah.
like that's how I'm like, oh, they're still grasping it. They're still like just a content consumer, you know.
Totally, yeah. Well, I think seeing Matt as the profile picture, people are like, "This is Matt," and also Matt, like advertised it on Spellbound, so they're like, "This is Matt," and
This is
it
Matt,
actually made me realize, like, from a grander perspective, like every celebrity who has social media, like I'm sure a lot of it is managed by somebody.
I think
else.
almost all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I-
just like tweets from celebrities and stuff. Maybe not all of them, but like
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of them are written by other people.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's where like the Finstas and stuff came from too. Is like I wonder if like a lot of celebrities are like, no, I just want my own fake one that I can like do on my
I'm
own
sure.
stuff.
1000%.
Yeah.
When Billie Eilish joined TikTok, I cannot say the username, but she had like a no profile picture and a very funny username, and was just like doing like random posts that didn't have her face in it, or like reposting like memes and stuff.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden like posted a video of like her voicing over to like a sound that was really funny, and people were like, I can't wait, is this just like a fan posting this video of Billie
Yeah.
Eilish, or is this actually Billie Eilish? And then she changed her username, and it turned out that account was Billie
Yeah.
Eilish.
People are good. I was trying to do that. I didn't do that far because my name still had my name in it. Just wasn't like actually just at Tanner Malmo. But I was like, I want to make a TikTok, but I don't want like people following me because I want to find my own thing, send them to my friends. I don't want it to be this like big social media thing. You
Right,
know?
yeah.
So like I put a picture of a grandma holding a sword as my default picture, and the two TikToks I've ever made don't have my face in it at all. They're just like stupid. Like one is literally like a microwave going down from 1 second to 0, making the beeping noise, and then the other one is me grabbing like a dish utensil and doing something stupid with it, you know. And I was like, just to be, I just want them to be stupid on, you know.
Sam-
What did you
Face.
do with this dish utensil?
Sam's head is in the wrong place.
I just wanted something to be like, I want to do my own stupid stuff, and no one have a clue of who it is,
Yeah.
what's going on,
You know,
and then people find it, and then
Yeah,
like,
and I think TikTok is the perfect platform for that too. Like I feel like unless you're trying to market, like for us, we're trying to market our YouTube channel, so like it very much has to be about our channel. But if you're not trying to like market anything, like
it's just goofy.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like just do random stuff. Yeah, that's kind of what TikTok is for. So
So we'll go more into depth probably next week with that, even though we talked about it a little bit today. But I think there's more that can be discussed as to why we're doing it, what's going on, all of that jazz. If you guys want to see it, it's Matthias_863. So go check it out.
Woo.
Next, I want to
Theories?
hear your guys' fan theories.
Okay,
We have
I got
about-
some, Sam.
We have like 20 minutes left.
Okay.
Cool.
How should we do this? Because I have some that I've like screenshotted and saved from the Spellbound app. that
Let's I want you to read those.
okay.
And then give me yours.
Okay.
Kind of
Well,
combined.
what if my brain has been formed by subject four's ideas?
No, that's what I'm saying. Give
Yeah.
me all of them and then be like, now
Okay.
all those together is how I came up with this. And
So are these just theories, like general theories, or is it specifically relating to what's happening at this moment?
I have some that like bring up old things.
Okay.
And you know, I feel like it's just kind of like the story in
theories.
general.
Okay, cool.
Oh, okay, yeah. So some of these are a little bit more recent. One that I thought was really fascinating, and I haven't been able to find the original post, but I know I sent it in Slack to the team actually the other day. The original 863 key has never gone to anything.
Oh, interesting.
The code is what was significant, like that it was labeled 863, and that ended up opening up the mini lock that was in the filing cabinet that
But
was
the
in
key
Orange
has
Face.
never gone
But
anywhere.
the key has never gone to anything.
Oh,
Now-
that's interesting. Okay.
A lot of people, and I being one of them, have realized that like we never opened the filing cabinet that we found in Wes's storage
Yes.
unit, and I just thought it would be very interesting if the 863 key ended up going to that filing cabinet.
That would be really interesting.
I don't know, and I'm not looking at Tanner. I don't know.
I have no clue, so you're
okay,
fine. I
cool.
don't know that
don't
that's
know
a
anything.
props or anything. No.
So yeah, I don't know if there's any actual plan for the filing cabinet. To me, my knee-jerk reaction is that feels like something that we just genuinely forgot to open while filming.
I think it is. Yeah.
But I would love to see the actual 863 key like tied in somewhere.
I think that would be super interesting
Yeah.
because also it would have to go to something that happened after Wes died.
Yeah.
Because if that's the significance of 863, and so
Mm-hmm.
if it went to one of Wes's belongings, that would be weird because
Yeah.
that means that that filing cabinet actually doesn't belong to Wes.
that's true.
Yeah.
Confusing.
That's a deep cut.
Another, like, just about talking about like Wes being dead, and this is more of just a general theory that I've seen a lot, and it is the closest theory that I think I have in my brain about the writing on the walls, about like how it's happening and what's happening. I guess my brain is a little tarnished by the video that we didn't upload.
Sorry, I'm not looking at Tanner just because it
because-
involved Tanner.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I don't know if that story element has changed, because what I was thinking, and like I do think story-wise, it's like some sort of a ghost or something that's phasing through the walls. Because like story-wise, there's no way someone could have run around and spray painted it like behind the mirror when we were filming that. Or
Totally.
like, you know, in all these areas. I'm just kind of like there's no way that like story-wise practically that would have happened, and I
Right.
felt like that would have been too close to breaking reality. So I'm like, I like to believe that somehow the story is going to go into like paranormal activity
Yeah.
stuff again. And talking about that, my brain only goes to like the light we saw above Wes's grave.
Right,
That
which
still
is a
is
huge thing.
unanswered.
Yeah, totally. And that's something that like I didn't even think about when we were filming these videos. I don't know why I never considered the fact that
Because
it could be
Project
Wes.
863 is dead. Like that's been such
Yeah,
a
so
trip in my brain.
True. So I've been thinking it's like totally unrelated, but I think a lot of people have said it's Wes, and I think that makes perfect sense. And that's like
They say
my
the light is Wes?
no, the like whoever's writing on the walls is
Is
Wes.
Wes. Is like the ghost of Wes.
But I actually saw something that could also be an explanation that I think would be interesting. And that is that people in another timeline are writing on the walls and are trying to communicate. So it's like in another dimension.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting though, because it's like, you know, obviously I don't know what the physics of other dimensions look like, but like, why would that be the only thing that appears in our dimension?
Yeah. I mean, I thought something like kind of similarly to that because it happened at the witching hour, 3
Yeah.
a.m., which is like when the portal between like, you know, life and death like is open for communication. So because of the 3 a.m. factor, I'm leaning more towards paranormal. But I had the same thought of like, what if this is happening in a different dimension somewhere and it's like phasing through? And similarly on that note, I saw someone post, man, okay, maybe I don't have the screenshots that I like actually thought I had, but someone had a really good idea that made me go like, oh, Harry Potter, like Tom Riddle's diary. Like, what if this writing on the walls is appearing from something else? Or like, and a lot of people brought up the blank journal, but the blank journal really was blank as far as we know. And like, you know, it is a dead end. But someone was like, what if this is being written somewhere else that somehow has a connection to the walls?
That's interesting.
Like, or what if this is being written in another
That's interesting.
like time?
Yeah, I like that. I think that's really cool. But my only problem with these theories of it being an actual person is like, if they were really trying to communicate with us, I feel like they wouldn't be so vague about things, right? Like, I feel like they wouldn't just be like, what's wrong? Help me. Like, I feel like they would actually try to communicate coherently and say things that would have meaning to us so that we could actually communicate back to them.
Yeah,
I
is
feel
weird
like,
how vague it is.
Yeah, it's just so vague that it's like, well, how are we even supposed to make anything out of this? You know, which is why it feels like something's trying to scare us or something's trying to, like threaten us. It doesn't feel like someone is actually trying to get real information from us. Yeah.
That's a really good point. And I didn't even really think of that until now, that like it either feels like, I mean, and if this isn't paranormal and somehow this is a person doing it, it's like either like prank or it's someone threatening us. Or maybe it is a paranormal thing, but it's just like not connected to what we think it is.
True, yeah.
I saw a really interesting theory from James. I have the one name for this one. James said, I'm just going to throw something out there. Maybe they have to find... So, okay, let me back up. All the phrases like look closer, you're not listening, can you keep a secret, etc. James is suggesting maybe they have to find videos where they say those words in the rooms that they were in. Like maybe in one video, someone said, you're not listening next to Sam's office. And then something with that video, the title description, timestamps, etc. Like could be something, maybe, mostly not. But
That's actually not a bad idea, yeah.
I just thought it was interesting that like maybe... There are clues we already have, and this touches on another theory I saw about like the look closer, like kind of like the final thing we found. If this is Project 863 related, like that leads me to believe that we already have the information about whatever is happening, or there's some sort of like B plot that we missed that we need to like dive deeper into. But I thought the theory about like the phrases specifically being in the rooms that they're in was like really interesting.
I think that's really interesting too, because that would also, you know, if for whatever reason this entity is limited to like 3 words per wall or whatever, like there's only so much you can say in 3 words, right? So maybe it would be a clue that's alluding to something larger that they wouldn't be able to write out, you know, like it could be just like a small thing that means something larger. I think that makes a lot more sense. I think that the writing, like there has to be a meaning behind the words. I don't believe that this is just random hoopla on the walls. Like I don't think that this, like either it's someone threatening us and just being like, you know, putting strange things on the walls, or it's someone who is important and is trying to communicate with us, but is for some reason can't and is like doing it in this strange way.
Part of me, just to like theorize a little bit on the spot, what other characters could this be? Like if because I don't think this is Deb, like because that wouldn't make any sense. I don't think
so
this
either.
is Cyphus, because right now we have no knowledge of whatever Cyphus was, where he is he alive, is he dead? Like,
It could be
in
Cyphus,
story, we have no clue.
I mean,
what's happening with
true.
Cyphus.
To be fair, like, you know, Cyphus, well, you know,
I guess
like things have just manifested in strange, scary ways before. Like things just like appearing, like, you know, guys showing up to the studio and like just sketchy things happening, and there was really no rhyme or reason to why those things were happening either. So, I mean, I guess like there doesn't have to be a purpose behind the things in the walls. It could just be someone terrorizing.
Well, but like zooming now, thinking about like the production brain, I'm like, but why would this not be connected? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I know like story wise, we're like Project 863 is dead. Like we're not helping Deb at all.
Yeah.
But how I anticipated season 3 going was like we say that, but then somehow we get like pulled back in, maybe unexpectedly.
Me too. Yeah.
And so that's why my brain is like, does this have anything to do with, and I don't think so, but like the GR character or Jordan Kendall or like another theory I had was like, maybe, and this is like dark or whatever, but you know, we've talked about like how Syntech used to be like a lab in like this building, and I was like, maybe these are ghosts from patients who had trials done on them and they died, and like this is like what they're saying, and maybe there's something about all, because we have so much evidence about patients and like trials and everything, and maybe there's something in there that the team has like now crafted to be a story.
Right.
As I'm saying that, I'm kind of like, when we made all of that stuff, we had no, at least to my knowledge, like higher plan for it.
Yeah.
But because you and I have both been in writer rooms, like sometimes we find things that we did in the past and then give meaning to them way after the fact,
very true.
in order to like bring them back in. So that's why I'm like, does it have to do with the patients? Does it have to do like who would be saying like, help me?
Yeah.
Like you're not listening.
I think that's really interesting because also, I mean, just from like the ghost videos that I've watched on YouTube and stuff like BuzzFeed Unsolved and those kinds of things, it's like ghosts usually aren't aware of like what's happening in real life. Like they're stuck in the consciousness of what was happening when they died. And so like it's very possible that like it is a ghost from like it's a patient from when they were being experimented on, and then they're like they still believe that like the people who were doing terrible things to them are here. And so it's possible that they're like they think that we are
talking
bad.
That made me scared, Bailey. And I know none of this is real, but like that's a very interesting thought process because what if the ghost thinks that they're either communicating to like Deb in Syntech, like and is like, help me, like you're not listening, like I'm the ghost of something, but I died, and like they think that they're communicating to like that era of Syntech, which
like they don't realize that we're YouTubers. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Ooh.
That's kind of a good one. Yeah, I kind of like that one.
Tanner, make a mental note.
Make note. I'm just over here writing it down.
You're like, okay, interesting.
Making a prescription.
It's so funny because, like, Tanner actually just takes what we say and then brings them back and is like,
hey guys.
So, guys, I got some ideas.
So I have these really cool ideas. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where I want it to be Project 863 related.
I think it is. I really do.
I do, and we didn't release that video, did we? Or did we release it to Project 863 Plus people?
We did.
But we released it as like we screamed not canon all over.
Oh yeah,
like,
that's
canon,
true. That's true.
Not canon. Not
Okay,
canon,
well, I need to
just for
remind my
funsies.
brain of that because. So have the people watching this seen that? Can I mention?
Yes.
What happened?
You can bring. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
It's not
because
canon.
it's not canon.
Yeah.
So in that video, we like found these like paint cans that were like the spray, like the exact material that was on the walls. And I'm trying to, and I mean, it has been drilled in that that's not canon. So the story is likely going a different way for it to actually be something that like phased through, or I don't know, maybe the bag being found was a prank and it actually is a paranormal thing, but like we just wanted to like frame someone for it.
Well, I do
but
vaguely
I'm trying
remember...
to like forget that.
Yeah, right. I do vaguely remember Matt or someone said that the paint cans were meant for like whoever is doing it was like framing Tanner.
Yeah,
so
that is true.
It's like maybe the paint cans don't actually don't exist in a physical form, but it's like someone who just like the only way that Tanner would have been able to do it was with spray paint. So then they like planted the spray paint to make it look like it was Tanner, but it actually might not be. spray paint at all.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if
that,
you guys
that
haven't
put that
seen
to
that
rest
video,
in my brain.
Go
Yeah.
watch it, not canon, but
Yeah,
so what they're
not
referencing
canon.
is go watch it if
Yeah, I
this
know it
makes no
probably
sense
sounds
to you.
so funny if
Yeah.
without
Yeah,
watching
they're like,
that
Tanner,
video.
what the heck
I
does
just-
Tanner have to
Have
do with
to do with
anything?
anything. Yeah, so my brain is just like, it has to be something paranormal. It must be Project A63 related, and like, because especially a lot of conversation I've seen about even just the phrase "look closer" being kind of like a theme of the
Yeah,
season.
right,
It's
true.
like there's something we missed. So there's a whole storyline that's been built that technically like is corroborated by evidence we've already found. We just haven't gone and looked back over it.
Yeah, I also think that smiley face is a big clue. It has
That-
to be. There's
it
no
has
way
to be.
someone would just do that for fun.
The
Like,
two
it has-
X's and like the smiley face.
Yeah,
on Look
and I think
Closer.
it's very possible that it's something that we don't know about yet. But I do think that the smiley face has a meaning of some kind.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they would have just spelled out "look closer" if that was the case. I want to bring up a theory that doesn't have to do with the writing on the walls necessarily,
Oh,
but
sure.
it's the fact that Matt is going crazy / turning evil.
Okay, I've
Because-
seen some chatter about this before.
Yeah, and I think what it comes from is like obviously he didn't take the antidote, and then people think that what he did with destroying Deb was like really rash and out of character for him, and they think that someone is like like controlling him to do those things like with the
Okay.
serum,
Okay.
or like someone is like the serum is making him like turn to the dark side essentially.
I forgot about that kind of thought process and theory about Matt being like unwell, because technically too, and maybe this was an oversight, but we didn't see him take the counter agent even.
Right.
The yellow
No, and
vial.
he said he
So-
wasn't going to.
Yeah.
But you know what I just thought of too? Remember that one file that said that like it stabilized the rats? Couldn't he technically have been stabilized, and that's why he doesn't have any like odd symptoms anymore?
I think that was the story purpose. Like
Okay.
that was like it's stable, like the large exposure to radiation stabilized the serum concoction, so Matt's fine.
Right.
That's how we got to the conclusion of Matt being fine.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it's not still in his system and has
Exactly.
some kind of ulterior motive now,
Because we've seen theories about, B27 being controlled by Cyphus.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
what does the injection and what does the serum do when B27 is clearly like he has a lot of internal conflict going on.
Right. That's interesting.
So-
What if now, oh my gosh, what if that is, I don't know if people have talked about this, but what if he, like B27 is being like mind controlled by the serum, and him having that argument isn't like two versions of himself. It's like the side that's getting controlled and the side that is like actually
Like
him.
Jekyll and Hyde,
Yeah.
basically. Or
Yeah.
Venom and whoever the guy that Venom is attached to is.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. And so that being said, is the theory that Matt maybe is connected to the writing on the walls actually?
Well, see, and that's his theory that I saw too, is that like Matt may have done the writing on the walls, but like
Because
messed
he
with
was
the
in
footage.
control of everything.
Yeah, like he messed with the footage so that we like would have thought that it wasn't him.
Interesting.
Because like it's also possible that maybe Matt isn't aware that he did it.
Yeah.
And then like maybe we came into work before him and he saw it and was like,
what?
I need to.
I'm so uncomfortable now. I'm not trusting anything. I don't trust anything anymore.
I really
is
like
what
that
I've
theory
learned.
though.
I
Is like
do.
that Matt. It's like, yeah, he's like dreaming almost like when like he's like sleepwalking
he's
when
unaware.
he's like under control and then like comes to and is like, oh, that wasn't
We're
me.
gonna
Like,
find
what?
security camera footage of Matt,
Matt,
doing it on
stop.
the
I'm
wall.
so
That's exactly
scared.
what's gonna happen.
so
Like
scared.
Matt's. I'm totally convinced that like Matt at some point in the series is going to like go dark.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But my only thought that like maybe they wouldn't want to do that is because the breakup was such
People hated the conflict.
yeah, exactly. So I'm like, because if that were the case, I don't know about you, but like I wouldn't want to be around Matt.
I would not come into work. But I can see a perspective there where it's like the mission is save Matt. Whereas
True.
the conflict from season 2 was just like, we just can't agree on what to do about
True.
things. Whereas we could build in, like, I think the team could write a successful conflict where it's just like, we just have to save Matt. We just like have to figure out what's happening and how this is happening and how to fix it.
Yeah.
And the audience would obviously, I think, be behind that. I don't think anyone would be like, actually, let him waste away.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually that's cool. I like that.
Is Woods gonna have to fight Matt?
A fist fight of a lifetime. Well,
Wow.
you guys had some good theories. We'll probably do this again. I found it so entertaining
That's
just like
fun.
listening, guys. It's
Oh
fun
yeah,
too
I
because
forgot you were here.
Yeah,
haven't-
especially because you know
well,
too.
no,
We probably
I don't know. I have no
dumb.
clue. That's what makes this so easy. Is I really don't have a clue what's going on. I kind of
Yeah.
go just episode to episode.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the writing that I do is just on a like we write the week that it's happening. Pretty
Yeah,
much, you know?
that's true.
So like
Yeah,
the
so you're
higher
really
level
long term.
thinking has nothing to do with me.
True,
in it.
true.
So it's super fun hearing you guys talk about it because I don't really have like any theory. I haven't really like thought or like seen a lot of
Yeah,
that
true.
stuff. So you guys are like over. You're like you guys. Well, you guys are also in the videos like doing it too. So it makes total sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm like, dang, you guys are like, I'm like, dang, this is deep. This is cool.
Oh no, we're like into it,
excited.
and I think especially now that we're in the dark production wise, we're like, what is happening?
Yeah,
Like, we're-
totally.
And I've been so tempted to go over like the evidence database and like props and documents and stuff myself, but
Oh,
like
yeah.
I obviously want to save it for camera because
True.
the last thing I want to do is like think of something and be like, oh my god, this is what it means, or I found it, and then like I don't
And
know.
you spoiled
Totally.
it for
And like
yourself or something.
spoil it, or like I don't know. That actually could be an interesting thing, is like if we like found stuff on our own and then just like vlogged it when it happened and we were like, Matt, look.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't.
That's
I
sick.
mean, it is really hard for like whenever Mike Badal, I feel like he's like the main person who does this in Slack. He'll be like, spoilers, Bailey and Sam.
Sam,
It
don't
takes
look.
every part of me to
Not to
not
just
open
look.
that thread.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like when people tell you not to look, you're like, okay, I'm going to look at that.
Well, yeah, and also like we know Woods has been working on something for like 3 weeks, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
so we're going to find out
Oh,
what it
yeah.
is tomorrow.
well, yeah, I
hopefully.
guess we do find out tomorrow because the only message I've seen is like Matt going like, hey Woods, is the
Yeah.
thing ready for tomorrow? And I'm like, what is
It's just
Yeah.
everything is so big. Every day's Christmas for you too.
I
It's
know.
I know.
lovely.
It's fun.
Well, thank you guys for all of your theories. Let us know if you want to hear this again. Maybe we can go next week and do possibly some more theories too, because I'm sure you guys have even more. I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we could talk about this.
But
Yeah.
I found that super satisfying. I was like, wow, this is really, really satisfying. It's because we talk usually so out of story that it's cool to hear you guys talk and try in theory and story too. So, nice. Well, thank you guys for watching this episode of
you.
As you can tell, I'm very tired. I've been up since like 4 a.m.
Dope or Nope's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm going to be like hallucinating. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Behind 863. We will see you next time. Keep theorizing and have a good day.